basics, but I'm going like that. And I'm pushing against it, but I'm going to hold my balance. So once again, you've got to hold your balance up, and on the front stance, you can just get up. You say you can test yourself out. The norm, we've got a normal thing to do, and we've got an active thing to do. In other words, a passive. This is the passive. This is just normal push hands. Now the norm is also, in this way of push hands, is simply picking the foot up on defence and attack. So defence, I pick the front foot up. Attack, I pick the rear foot up. So in other words, in order to pick this rear foot up here, I can't pick it up now. I've got to get the correct body alignment to the attack. If I'm attacking now here, you see, I won't punch in like this. That's incorrect, of course. You all should know that by now. That's incorrect. In order to get the correct centrifugal force and the power from this punch, I must turn my body. See how I've ended up with my alignment on my body. Now if I pick up the rear foot and keep the weight on the front leg, see how I have to turn my body in order to keep my balance. And that's the correct shot, the correct body alignment for getting the most power for your punch. And that's what we're learning here, of course. That's why you do your push hands. Do that sort of thing. You just change sides as if you're doing nothing. Whereas in a fighting situation, you've got no idea of what's going to happen. So in a fighting situation, you're striking, someone's defending and jerked your wrist down and pulled you down. They've got no idea you're going to get out of it. So at that point there, they're totally, what's going on here, bang, they really haven't got much time to defend against it. But just for your awareness and so forth, you can do one of those things just to get a little bit more training in. Peripheral joints. A small chin nut, a large chin nut would be those sort of things. A small chin nut would be those sort of things. You're not just bending the wrist back this way, although that's a chin nut lock. The small chin nut lock, for instance, this is a chin nut lock. The one we've already done that one. Turn that into a small chin nut lock, which is much more painful on the smaller joints. You simply hold the elbow, don't bring it in this way, you simply twist it that way, rather than just in like that. You're now twisting it that way as well as bending it in. So the very first area of small chin nut we come to, or rather chin nut we start in our single push hands. Now obviously it's going to be much more difficult getting it on with one hand than it is with two hands, but if you can sort of get it on with one hand, then the two-handed chin nut methods become very, very easy. So my first method is, rather than just doing, of course you have to be past all of this area where you're able to get out of those sort of grabs, so we do that first. So now, rather than just grab it downwards, I've got to grab it a little bit sooner, about here, just before it gets past my centre. See how the hand, I'll just do it fast for you first. The hand comes straight in. Sucking in and releasing into your self-defense. So you start off like this. When people see, I tell you, when I give demonstration, I'm doing the punching and everything I do, in fact. People, especially the hardest stars, look at that and they say, well, I see what you're doing, but I don't know how you're doing it. And this is how I'm doing it. From getting the release and the gathering and the releasing and the backbone. And this, of course, happens in a split second. But we learn it slowly to start with. So you can take this a little bit further, and you can just work on any simple technique. This principle goes for everything you do in the self-defense area. So you can have your partner just throw a punch. We're doing that, for instance. We're just maybe just going to put the hand up like that, and then come through with a secondary strike to defeat that. So as it's coming in, get that feeling of loading. If you want your partner to do it, just do it slowly, just with power behind it.